Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Books of the Month. I am your host, Dr. O.C. Pringle, and I am delighted to have for our featured guest on today, Gigi Gladys Bennett. She is the author of Summer in the Sun. Welcome, Gigi.
Thank you. My pleasure.
It's great to have you here with us on Books of the Month. You have a beautiful story.
Well, thank you.
Summer in the Sun. On the cover of your book, there's a little house. Is that your house?
Yes.
It really is. Wow. Awesome. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about you and your inspiration for writing the book.
Well, what the devil means for harm, God uses for good.
That's right.
And if we follow him, he takes us through anything.
That's right.
And my book is not my story. It's not to bring attention or glory to me. It's to bring attention and glory to him. Because he's the creator, he's the guide, he's everything.
That's right.
And all I want to do is give the glory to him and encourage people everywhere to trust in him
Correct.
and rely on his guidance because it's there. And when you think you can't handle it anymore, that's when he pulls you out of the water or the quicksand.
That is the truth.
But the things that lead up to that is all a learning process.
Yes.
And sometime later, just like me, it took me a long time to look back on my life and see what God has done in my life. All the way through, I've gone through so many experiences, and I see where it's been for my benefit. I believe life is like we're in school, and we can follow the Lord and pass, or we can neglect the Lord and follow the devil and fail.
That's right.
We got a choice between heaven and hell. I know the difference. I've been to heaven once. I want to go back. I want to stay.
Awesome.
And I want everybody. It grieves me when I see the things that are going on in the world and so many are being lost. I want them all to be saved.
Amen. Amen.
And so I look at our now time as bittersweet because I can see all of the terrible stuff going on in the world. And I feel sad for the people that are suffering. But at the same time, I know from Bible prophecy that all this has to happen. And so before Jesus comes. And so I just say, pour it on, Lord. Let's get this done and over with so we can get on to real life.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's where I'm coming from. But I want to take everybody with. I want to be a voice for the Lord, not a voice for me.
I understand. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. And so you raised 6 children.
7.
7
I
children.
had 6 at that time.
Okay. At the time of writing the book, you had 6 children.
Well, no, at the time of living the book, I had 6 children.
Okay. I see.
At the time of writing the book, my goodness, I have a huge family.
I can only imagine. How many grands do you have?
52.
Oh, my God. You have 52 grands.
Yeah.
Wow.
And between children and stepchildren, I have 16 children.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I'm very blessed.
You are extremely blessed.
Yeah.
So, you and your 6 children, tell us about the book. What went on with the book? Because that's an amazing story.
Well, my husband had been on one of his trips. He was gone a lot. And this time he was gone for almost a year. And I got a letter and he said, get everything packed. They're moving you to Shelley, Idaho. And so I got things packed. And when he came back and got us, he moved us to the desert near Shelley, Idaho. And there was this old cinder block house, no water, sewer, nothing like that. And he left us there. Are you going to say something?
No, I'm listening. Go right ahead.
He left us there, and we were there for 7 months. We had all kinds of things happen, but we were there for 7 months before we were rescued. And by this time, we were really down to the last knuckle, so to speak. Yeah, my kids, there was a a creek that run past the house. Not really a creek, it's a water for irrigation.
Okay.
And it wasn't there all the time. But when it was there, my oldest son especially was so fascinated with it he couldn't stay away from it. So he almost drowned it 3 times.
Oh, wow.
And I warned him, I said, if you go near it again, I'm going to throw you back in. Well, when he went back the 4th time, I took him by the shoulders and I said, what did I tell you would happen if you did this again? And he said, he was stammering it out. He said, to throw me back in? I said, yes, let's go. I took him by the wrist and he fought me all the way as we went back to the creek. And there was a little bridge that had a beam about this far away from the bridge. It was close enough that I could hang on to it, kneeling on the bridge. And I took him and I threw him in and he was screaming and I tried to duck his head under, but he was fighting too hard.
Oh, wow.
And then after I had all I could handle of the struggle with him, I pulled him out. I'm going to get emotional.
It's okay.
I pulled him out and sat on the bridge holding him for a little bit. And I told my daughter, Clorinda was the oldest of the 6, I told her to go get the big blanket off the bed and bring it to me. And I took him into the house, and we just made it to the chair when she brought the blanket, and I wrapped it around the 2 of us and got us warmed up. I also took a picture of him looking like this, freezing to death, and I put it on the TV, and I told him, I'm putting that there so he could see it every day. And if he does it again, I'll throw him back in, and this time I may not bring you out.
Oh, wow.
You never went near it again.
I can listen. I doubt that he ever went back.
No, he didn't go back there anymore that time.
So when did your husband return?
Well, he returned a couple of times and spent the night.
Okay.
And then he was gone again. On one of the occasions that he was there, he bent down to that little creek. It was only about that wide. He bent down to that creek to get a drink. And he was on his way to leave. And he came back in the house and he looked pale and shaken. I said, what's the matter? He said, I kneeled down by the creek for a drink of water, and then I turned my head and there was a big snake laying alongside of me.
Oh, wow. So where was he? Where was he when he was gone?
Well, I think most of the time he was in Oregon. He was, when he left before he took us to the desert, he was in Seattle for about a year.
In Seattle.
He was just a wanderer, a party guy.
A party guy. Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Right, he was.
Okay, so you were there with, I tell you what, I want to talk some more about you and the children being by yourself out there in the desert with these snakes, okay? We're going to be right back to hear some more from Gigi, Gladys, Bennett concerning summer and the sun. Don't go anywhere. It's about to get even more interesting. Be right back.
Millions of people today have no dental insurance. If you're without insurance, do you have a plan to care for your teeth without spending a fortune? Well, we do. Introducing Dental Plans. Dental Plans offers more than 40 dental savings plans from top healthcare brands. You pay one low annual membership fee and then save money every time you go to the dentist.
Dental Plans pays for itself immediately.
With Dental Plans, you choose your dentist. You can join today and start saving at the dentist tomorrow. There's even a 30-day money-back guarantee.
It was very easy to find a plan that met our budget.
There's no reason to not cut your dental bills in half.
You can get everything done that you need to have done, and it's still affordable.
So, if you don't have dental insurance, you now have a plan. Dental Plans. Join today and you'll save 15% off any plan. We'll even give you 1 month free with this limited time exclusive TV offer. Visit dentalplans.com or call
855-567-6668.
All right, I'm still here with Gigi, Gladys, Bennett. Isn't she beautiful? She's only 85 years young. But her daughter says she's 32 for life. I like that. Listen, she's the author of Summer in the Sun. And we were just talking about your experience out there in the desert. Okay, let's talk about, and by the way, there's some beautiful photos. I don't know if you can see these, but these are some beautiful photos in your book. Let's talk about Strange Visitor.
Okay.
You wrote about a strange visitor in your book. What was that about?
Well, we had run out of groceries and things were pretty tough. And I didn't know what I was going to do anymore. And there was a knock on the door. I had taken the smallest one and laid down on the bed. And we fell asleep, and as I was praying to the Lord for help. And we fell asleep, and I heard a knock at the door. And I thought I was dreaming, but it was a knock again. So holding the baby, I went and answered the door, and there was a man standing there, and he said he had been out on the desert, and he had car trouble, and he wondered if my husband could help him out. I said, well, he isn't here right now, but the car is sitting over there. Don't run. If you can get it to run, you can take it. I did this because he was standing there with double holsters.
Wow.
And I was a woman alone with all these kids, and I was afraid something was going to happen, so I would have given him practically anything. And when my husband came home the last time, he left the car, he said, for my use. But he left it because it wouldn't run. And his boss, friend, whatever he was, came and got him. I'm losing track. Well, anyway, he took the car, he went to the car and he got it started, and I was surprised. And he took it and went and got his car parts. And when he came back, I asked him if he could tell me where I could get some water and which way town was. And he looked shocked. And he says, I'll go get you some water. He went and got the water, and he came back with 2 great big steaks. Steaks, not snakes. And then he left. I never saw him again. But by this time I had a car now. And also what happened after he left with the car is I used to always hide money all over the house so that when my husband was gone, I would have something. And I had searched, and I didn't find anything, any place. But now the baby that couldn't use his arms used his feet, and he had moved over to the bookcase, and with his feet he picked up a book. And he held it up, and when he did, 2 $20 bills fell out.
Wow.
That's a God thing.
That's a God thing.
That's a God thing. And so was the stranger. And anyway, I got pretty excited when I saw that. And we made up a grocery list and got cleaned up and went to town and got groceries. If the stranger hadn't been there, we probably would have starved.
That is that's an amazing story. That's an amazing story. What about, let's see, what about, okay, search for water. Then we have, desert angels?
Oh, yeah. Again, we had reached the point where we had nothing. And I went outside like I usually do after the kids were in bed. I went outside under the stars. The one thing about the desert, the sky is so beautiful at night. There's millions and millions of stars that you can't see when you're in town.
Wow.
And I went out there and I was praying, and I started singing and dancing and twirling under the sky. And the next day, I found where the school bus stop was, and I took the kids to the school bus stop. And after I came home, a car came driving out, and it was just like a wagon trail going to where we were. It wasn't a regular highway or road of any kind. It was a trail. And this car came, and I was watching it. It was fascinating to see a car out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it stopped in front of where we lived. And I saw Mike and Clorinda in there, and I thought something is happening. I went out towards them, and this older lady got out and introduced herself, and it turned out that the kids were sitting on the corner bus stop, and she was wondering where they came from because there was nobody out here. And she finally did some investigation and determined that I didn't know that there was no school that day. There was some kind of a teacher's conference.
Oh, wow.
And so she took them home, but the kids did not want to go with her at first because they said, Mom said I can't go with anybody. I have to go either wait for the bus or wait for Mom. Well, her name is Edith Herndon, and she convinced the kids that she was going to take them home. And as they gave her directions, she kept thinking they was wrong. There was nobody living out here. But she came in and introduced herself and said that she would be back soon. She came back the next day with Hazel Eichmeyer. And Hazel said, Edith told me your story, but I want to hear it from you. And they asked me so many questions, just direct questions, that I couldn't talk around them. I had to give direct answers. Mm-hmm. And after I was done, then Hazel said, we've got a house alongside of our house. You get everything packed and we'll be here Monday to move you.
Oh my God.
So I said, but I don't have money for rent. She said, you don't need to worry about that. You just get everything packed. So I got everything packed, and we were so excited about getting off the desert. And as Hazel and Edith came back, their husbands came back with them, and they had a truck. The guys drove the truck, and the women were in a car. And we were in the process of loading things up when the kids started yelling, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy's here. And all of us were just shocked. I turned around and saw him. Neither one of us said a word, and I was afraid he was going to stop the move. I didn't know what he would do because he's got a bad temper. And anyway, Ed and Lester looked at each other for a minute, and then Lester just nodded his head like they were going to continue with the loading, which they did. And my husband stood there and watched for a while, and then quietly he started to help. Anyway,
wow.
I looked at them as the desert angels that came to my rescue. And after everything was all loaded, they drove away, and I don't know, they drove away, and I got the kids all in the car, and then after I got them all in the car, I got it in on the driver's side, and as I was getting in, I looked back at where we had lived, and it looked so deserted already.
Wow.
And as I drove away, I just thought that's the last of my summer in the sun.
Wow. Listen, don't go anywhere. There's more to come. Oh, wow, with this story. Listen, stick around to hear the rest of it. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-981-7594. That's 800-981-7594.
All right, we're still here with Gigi, Gladys, Bennett, the Summer in the Sun, and that's the little house that you all rent out there in the middle of nowhere.
It's gone now. There's a freeway going there.
Wow. Summer in the Sun. This is an amazing story. It is necessary for as many people as possible to purchase this book. And it's only $16.95, okay? Why do you want to share this story? What's the purpose of sharing this story?
Well, you know, the Bible is full of people that have gone through hard times. And some of the things were their fault and some wasn't. But God was with them and helped them out of their problems. The Bible is full of testimonies. This is my testimony. And I want people to see, even today, God is doing the same things. You can be in trouble, call out to Him, and He'll be there. And maybe He doesn't come right away, but it's because your lesson hasn't been learned yet. But He will come. You just have to concentrate on Him. Our troubles, I look at life like school. And the Bible tells us we will go only through much trial and tribulation will we enter His kingdom. Well, we're in different classes. And we go just like we're going in kindergarten. Our problems are small to begin with. And then when that problem is solved, it's like we get a recess time. Then another problem comes, and then another recess time. And each problem gets bigger because we should be maturing in Christ more. And so He's in the process of molding us and making us after His will, what He wants us to be. And you're not going to get there if you're going to be a crying, quitting complainer. You have to stand strong and just keep going one step at a time. My kids were not excited about me coming to this. They were afraid for my welfare. But I feel like as long as I'm on this earth, I've still got an assignment.
That's true.
And if my assignment is done, God's going to take me. Either way, I'm a winner.
That's right.
But I want to keep doing whatever I see in front of me.
You are a winner and you are a fighter.
Thank you.
You are definitely a fighter. And this would be such an inspiration to a lot of the single mothers who watch our show
That's
on a
what I
regular
wanted
basis.
to do.
And show them it's possible.
Yes.
It is very much possible to make it from the desert.
Yeah.
Out of the desert. Wow. The desert place. This is absolutely amazing. This story is absolutely amazing. I want to see this. Of course, we're on television now, but I want to see this in the form of a movie. So any producers out there, any writers out there, listen, take advantage of this. This is a story that needs to be told to the masses. Summer in the Sun. The story of Gladys, Gigi, Gladys Bennett. Now, is Gigi your real name?
Well, Gigi is Gladys is my birth name by my birth mother.
Okay.
But Gigi is the name that Hazel, the one that rescued us, gave me.
Wow.
They didn't have any kids, and they adopted us.
Oh, my God.
And the story of Jesus is kind of long. Gigi is kind of long also, but she's the one who gave me that name. And when I wrote this book...
How old were you when Gladys came, what's her name? The lady who rescued you.
Edith,
Edith, how old were you when she came to rescue you and the children?
almost 30.
You were almost 30. So how long were you in the desert?
7 months.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 7 months.
7, that's God's number for completion.
Yeah.
So you completed that class, you
Yeah.
completed that course, and you were able to graduate to the next level. So you left from the desert and moved to,
To Edith's house.
and where's Edith's house?
I'm not sure.
What city?
It's between the desert and Shelley.
Between the desert and Shelley.
Yeah.
I tell you, this sounds like a Bible story. I kid you not, this sounds like a Bible
Well, I can
story.
relate when I read in the Bible about people being out in the desert.
Yes.
I can relate to that.
Yes. Oh my.
I've had my time in the desert too.
This is amazing. So, did your husband, did he ever come over to Edith's house to visit?
Well, as a matter of fact, after his father died, his mother really told him off good. And anyway, about his life. And anyway, he came home and lived with us for about a year.
For about a year.
Yeah, and then the restlessness started again.
Oh, wow. But listen, Gigi, you did a wonderful job raising your children. The Lord always watched out for you.
Yes.
The Lord always made a way for you.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, this book is filled with miracles. Where can we find this book?
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any bookstore can get it.
Okay, awesome. And it's only $16.95. Purchase this book. Listen, I want the sales to skyrocket. Well, thank you, Edith. Thank you, Gladys. I'm calling you Edith. Thank you for joining us here at Books of the Month. Your story is absolutely amazing. This is an amazing story, and I believe that there's more to come after these messages right here with this book. I believe that the Lord is just going to open up ways, I'm telling you, and other portals for this book to travel through and reach the masses and reach the world, because this, again, is an amazing story. Thank you for traveling. Thank you for traveling here to being on our show. And to all of you that have tuned in for this episode, I'm sure y'all can agree with me. This has been a very special episode. Thank you for joining us. And listen, I want you to go and purchase this book as I stated earlier. I promise you it will be a blessing to each and every single one of you. Put this in your library at your church. Put it in your home. Listen, this book needs to be read even in the schools. Women's shelters throughout the United States of America, throughout the world, because this broadcast is going all over the globe. So listen, this will inspire that woman who's feeling all alone. Again, I'm your host, Dr. O.C. Pringle. Thank you for joining us on this episode. See you next week, same time, same place. God bless you.